Hello everyone and welcome to the August edition of the AAA. That's the Ask Antoni Anything session with me, Antoni Trenchev, co-founder and managing partner at Nexo. And today we have something really special for you. Not that I'm not the fan of booming bull markets, but during the bear markets I like to go back to fundamentals and to reevaluate and reassess everything that we're seeing and how we're thinking about in crypto. And it's just the perfect timing to do that. Crazy valuations aside, your coins are not appreciating by 10% per day. And it gives you time to think about what actually underpins all of that, and what ultimately counts is the ability to deliver products and services, the seamless experience with which Nexo has become synonymous, and all of those things that create the actual value in the companies that we are so excited to be engaged and participating in Web3, in the blockchain space. And ultimately this is what gives the value and the price appreciation, which then after the inevitable resuming of the bull market will propel those prices higher. And today to talk about a great new feature that we are launching on Nexo, the Nexo Pro, which we'll dive in very deeply today. My guest is no other than Yasen Yankov, who is Vice President here at Nexo of Product Development, with a heavy focus on trading related aspects of product development, the exchange business, etc. So Yasen, welcome.
Thank you. It's great to having me here.
Absolutely. It is a pleasure. So before we dive into the wonderful questions that our audience have submitted, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Nexo?
Yeah, of course. So my background is I've started as an engineer, so I have a technical background back almost 20 years ago. Been heavily involved in crypto, actually, and fintech for the past 8 to 10 years, and 2 years ago I've joined Nexo to start building products specifically focused around trading. And we've for those 2 years we've built our Nexo Prime brokerage product, which is a product specifically focused on institutional customers to professionally trade crypto digital assets. And as Antoni said, we're now very soon launching Nexo Pro, which is our retail trading product, which again I lead the product development onto.
Wonderful. All right, so let's start things off with the first question, which comes from Nexo New Way of Life. Big supporter. Thank you so much yet again for being as active as you are. And the first question is conveniently addressed to me. When will be the official release date of Nexo Pro? The Nexo community always has had a penchant for specificity with regards to deadlines, and we have been known to sometimes avoid giving those specific deadlines for various different purposes. And I'm yet again going to do that, but it is around the corner. We are launching it. It is ready. Some of our most active community members have actually had the chance to already experience, in the beta testing phase, and the results and the feedback has been phenomenal on the reception side, and then super informative for us so that we could clear out any lasting items that might have needed improvement. So we are launching it. It is around the corner. It is ready, and it will be rolled out. The important thing to note is that it's going to be a global product. There might be some restrictions geographically due to the prevailing regulatory framework, but that is normal, is expected. But it's a super efficient product. It is essentially, I would call it professional-like trading for the retail, and I feel humbled to be talking about the product itself in the presence with Yasen, so I'll conveniently slide things over to him when we need to go deeper into the exact features. And the next question is addressed to him. It comes from Matthew, and I think, looking by the context, it will give you an opportunity to talk about various aspects of the features of the Nexo Pro, but the particular question is with regards whether the Nexo Pro is aggregating liquidity like with the amazing institutional prime product. So over to you.
Yeah, so we will be using the same underlying mechanisms for aggregation of liquidity to Nexo Pro, as it's been tested and battle prone with Nexo Prime. So yes, definitely we're going to be using the liquidity aggregation and the smart routing functionalities again for Nexo Pro as well. And actually aggregation is a pretty big deal for us because it is solving a huge problem for the end customer. And that's the problem of missing an opportunity to trade whenever a single exchange is either illiquid and has lack of liquidity for certain asset, or is operationally non-functional. So this cannot happen with our aggregator. With just a single click, you very easily can move funds from your Nexo account to Nexo Pro and use the liquidity of the 10 of the biggest exchangers simultaneously at the same time and through a single platform, so that you can execute trades whenever you like and whatever the trading functionalities you like.
Yeah, and this, like the aspects of this and the ramifications really cannot be overstated. I would say there are exchanges claiming to do something like this, but not quite, because there is an inherent conflict of interest, if you will, for the exchange. Exchanges usually want everything to be settled within their order books. Now Nexo, we came out as a crypto lender, meaning that the wonderful suite of exchange services came in second. So we don't necessarily view ourselves as an exchange per se. We always wanted to be more inclusive in terms of products and services, but that gives us the flexibility of the business model, given the fact that we have various different revenue streams within the Nexo enterprise, so that we are a little bit more agnostic as to the per se execution and on which exchanges it happens. So we don't have a problem to source liquidity in the different exchanges and give you the best pricing, because it is not something that we as an enterprise necessarily depend on, and we can maximize the cost of your crypto acquisition in the most efficient way. And quite frankly, not only does that not exist at all, and if I'm mistaken on that, do challenge me and challenge us in the comments, happy to engage. But even if it exists, it is usually not given to the retail. This might be for some algo trading, proprietary large hedge funds that executing strategies, but we're giving the efficiency of that aggregated liquidity to the retail, which to me is truly phenomenal.
Yeah, and also probably to add to that, it's important to say a few words so that we can distinguish Nexo Prime and what Nexo Prime is and how it is different than what we're launching now with Nexo Pro. So Nexo Prime is a trading platform which is really specifically designed and built for the institutions who would like to trade. And most of the time those institutions will be having specific requirements and a specific way of using the product. So this would include programmatical trading in most of the time, so those institutions won't need a fully fledged UI for trading, specific margin requirements, etc. So Nexo Prime is built for this specific segment of customers, while Nexo Pro is really for the retail, semi-pro and pro customers. So every single customer of Nexo, being individual customer, will be able to use the Nexo Pro and trade with this platform.
Yep. Moving on to the next question, it is for me: is Nexo Pro going to be a separate app platform than the current Nexo app, or will it be integrated? Asks us an anonymous I would say Nexo fan, but he chose to be anonymous on this not that challenging question. So anyway, point being, it is going Nexo Pro to be a different app in terms of mobile. On your mobile device is going to be a separate app. I think that's usually the case with all type of offerings that have, you know, a wallet and a pro exchange. So nothing unusual. Great thing, same sign-on, single sign-in credentials. So it's not like you're gonna have to set up another set of passwords to remember. Efficiency and user friendliness being at the core of everything that we Nexo do. You know, so one-click transfer of balances back and forth. Going forward, we're going to make that an even smoother process, and Yasen will talk about that at some point, if not at this question. Up to him really, but it is going to be very user-friendly, very efficient, so that you can manage your assets, digital assets, from the comfort of your mobile or desktop devices. It's just with simplicity in mind. Yep. All right, moving on to the next one. It is for you. Will trading fees be based on reward tiers? Another anonymous question. This is more controversial. I understand why you chose to ask anonymously. Just kidding.
Yeah, so our vision for Nexo Pro includes the capability to enable the customer to trade to almost zero cost. Mm-hmm. So meaning that we will be really focused on providing a competitive fee structure. Again, the fee structure will be built based on tiers. So the tiers will be defined on a 30-day trading volume, and we'll be recalculating on every 24 hours the volume of the customer, so that we can update the fee, and they can trade with the specific fee structure based on this trading volume. Again, we're looking to start with a very competitive structure, promotional ones actually for the first customers who will be using Nexo Pro, and also in the near future we will be interested at perks and rewards from the loyalty platform of Nexo. Again, as Antoni mentioned, we're really looking forward to integrate Nexo Pro very closely into the Nexo ecosystem. So there'll be something which is going to be there very soon as well.
Yes, and for those who might wonder, we will not be tolerating any sort of wash trading, and Yasen is going to personally be policing the space for bad actors who are trying to bring down costs to unfair levels. Again, one of my legendary jokes here. So moving on to the next question. In an environment with low public trust for crypto lenders, at least until Celsius customers are saved, bailed out, or undergo a merger and acquisition, how does this impact Nexo Pro growth? Well, I think that's a very expansive question in the sense that it goes beyond Nexo Pro, you know, obviously our hearts go out to all of those people who have lost funds in, whether it's something like Celsius or, you know, Voyager, some of the guys that are having difficulties. At the same time, this has been yet another stress test for the enterprise Nexo, and I think, like, you know, not to be gloating or anything, but we passed the test with flying colors. You know, this is the harshest thing that could have happened to the crypto lending sector, pardon me. And, you know, we did not have to resort to any sort of augmentation of limits, withdrawals, tiers. You know, we did not need a credit line. We had all the right tools in place, you know, the audits, the prudent management, the fact that we are not on any creditors list on any of the entities that had failed. this aggregates, much like the liquidity on the Nexo Pro, to a compelling picture for the clients, for the investor, for the community, and they are much smarter than people sometimes give them credit. They think like, oh, it's retail, they can't tell stuff from stuff. They can very well, and they do that, and they appreciate the fact that we have been stress tested like no other. And I don't think there is any level of distrust to the companies that made it safely out of the storm, and I am cautiously optimistic that we are out of the woods in terms of near-term price action and how far Bitcoin and the crypto market can go. I think and I'm hopeful, we saw the bottom of the year, so I don't think there is a problem of trust towards Nexo in particular. It's a company that I can most confidently speak about. So, in terms of growth prospects, we are in for the long run, and you can tell that by a number of metrics, like, we are continuing to develop products and services that we are receiving from you guys as feedback that you want to see implemented. Then we have obviously our own thoughts as to what we think is useful for the space, but it's this palette of different products and services we continue to roll out. There's no slowing down. We continue to hire people. I don't think we let anyone go, certainly not because of the downturn. We do have a rotation because we have constantly evolving criteria for our team members, but that is a different topic. So, it is picking up again, and I see this on a daily basis by the net inflows and outflows. And obviously June was uglier, but it has stabilized to the point where we have net inflows again to the Nexo enterprise, and it's not secret. You can all check the Armanino report. So we are in a very good position, and we do not care that much over the short term whether about the growth prospects, but delivering the products and services so that once the times are good again, we are in a position to continue to bring value in a now more palpable form for you guys. And I think it is a very good and very comfortable position for us to be in. All right, moving on to the next question. It is for you, Yasen. Will you be adding smarter trade options to futures, like limit, OCO, one cancels the other, maybe even take profit, stop losses, trailing stops might be? It's very basic at the moment, asks us Dr. Green.
So currently in our trading engine, it's actually not that basic. We've already added market orders, limit orders, stop loss, take profit, as well as actually the TWAP orders, which you can rarely see into a retail trading product. Yeah, we definitely love it as well. So it is a...
Perhaps clarify what it is.
It
might be aware.
Yeah, it is a specific type of trade where it's actually designed for a big trade, where a big trade, when you're trading a big amount, it will split the amount so that you take, as a customer, you take the best possible price on execution, and not explicitly eat a lot of the liquidity of a certain market. So definitely a great one for customers who will to execute big trades. So definitely try it out. But just to add and actually to answer to the question, we will be adding trailing stop loss, take profit. One cancels the other as well for both our spot engine and for the future instruments. So customers will be able to trade those. Actually, it's a very, very high priority item into the list of the product development teams. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be released very soon. So stay tuned on this one as well.
Absolutely. I want a moment to shine here and show my knowledge on the TWAP order execution. It really is phenomenal. And by the way, FTX introduced it like I think a few weeks ago. You know, and internally on the Slack was like, we've had this for ages, guys. We're eating your lunch over here. No, but kidding aside, you know, this is like a market order which executes on periods of time. And as Yasen said, is very great for larger trades, but also for those type of individuals like myself that, you know, I place a market order, let's say for Ethereum, and it's trading at 1,400, and then it moves a little bit, and then you're chasing the market, and then it falls down and say, I could have gotten it like $5 cheaper or whatever. This takes out this you know, screwing up your internal mental assessment of the situation, because it averages out the price, and then it turns out more often than not that you actually got a much better deal. So even the smaller ones amongst you, I encourage you to try it out. All right, next question. The volatility emails are great. Okay, we can agree on that. Are you considering custom price alerts that we can set for when an asset or your overall balance reaches a certain price? Asks Valken. Hope I pronounced that right. Yasen, you're going to help me out here a little bit, but I do think that the reason and the honest reason for less push notifications on the Nexo platform overall had to do with our rescaling of the platform, in the sense that you know, we have luckily so many customers that it is overheating the system, and once you push the notifications, we had to rewrite some of the code so that it is you know, doesn't cause problems elsewhere. So definitely getting more push notifications, but Yasen, you can, you know, give the color around this one.
Yeah, so definitely, again, we're currently rewriting some and basically reorganizing our infrastructure in a way so that we can put more notifications as both to Nexo IO and to Nexo Pro as well, because for Nexo Pro, they're always also we're going to be putting price signals and trading signals. And once we're ready with that, we'll definitely push all those out, starting with retail notifications and then adding trade signals and more professional trading signals into notifications as well.
And you'll be getting live updates about the AMA sessions so that you don't miss any of those. You know, we are all having the same interest here. All right, another question for you. What role will the Nexo token play on Nexo Pro? Asks us Rex Hose.
Yeah, so that's one of the most frequently asked questions. Obviously, how Nexo token will be added as a utility to Nexo Pro. So we're definitely going to be adding utility for the token holders within Nexo Pro. The way we think about Nexo Pro is an additional product to the already great Nexo ecosystem of products, where token holders can use Nexo tokens for a variety of utilities. So for Nexo Pro, what we will start with will be holding Nexo tokens within the Pro balance, which will be reducing trading fees. And also customers will be able to choose to pay their trading fees with Nexo tokens from this specific hold of the balance. And this will give additional reduce of the trading fee as well. And very soon we'll also be integrating our loyalty tiers as well. So so that we can use the Nexo loyalty tier for Nexo Pro variety of functionalities, reducing of the fees, better margin terms, and so on and so forth.
Got it. All right, and you know, if you take a step back and actually, you know, look at at the Nexo token historically, it is, and obviously anything I or Yasen say is not financial advice, should not be interpreted by as such, and definitely not be used as the base to form investment decisions. You know, this is for informational purposes only, and it's our own views, not necessarily binding even for the Nexo company. So, but you know, if you take a view at the Nexo token, it is, you know, now getting the value that some of the exchange related tokens have, all the while having all the benefits, perks, reasons for holding it that you had up to this point without the Nexo Pro, you know, via the Nexo wallet and the lending capabilities and the earn interest and everything. So we are now merging two concepts into something that we will have the pleasure of talking again soon about, which is the Nexonomics 3.0, after the huge gargantuan success of Nexonomics 2.0, and it is to me terribly exciting. And you know, I'll let you draw the conclusions, but it's, you know, we started out as a lender. You know, the first products were crypto-backed lending. We built on top of that the earn interest. We had the exchange for some time, you know, the basic swap functionality in terms of interface. We had now the Nexo Prime, and now with Nexo Pro bringing those, mixing and merging those user-friendly experience with the advanced trading, it is changing the very fabric of what Nexo is, and it's got me terribly excited, especially in the context of the Nexo token. All right, moving on to the next one. Explain all the utility cases related to holding Nexo token across the services app, pro, card, credit lines. What's next for the token? It asks us Doc One. I am suspecting that my leg is being pulled here, and it might not actually be Doc One asking this. I think I actually incidentally covered most of it. You know, it is the mixing of the several concepts which would work as standalone reasons to own and be excited about the Nexo token, now combined all in one place. And you know, quite honestly, I'll let you draw the conclusions from there in terms of the valuation, potential peer comparison, like what are we valued at, you know, just alone from the standpoint of Nexo being compared to something who was being labeled our competitor is now bust, but their token is for some reason doing great. You know what I'm talking about. So, you know, all of that, you take the fact that we went through this massive bloodbath of the past months, came out unscratched. We are even in a position to be helping out others, and I am sorry that I am not in a position to talk in greater details about how the due diligence process are, and several of those that we are engaged in, and in our consolidation effort. But there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes that are terribly exciting. This on the one hand, then the constant expansion on the services and the products, the existing improvement within the current infrastructure, and all of that compounding is quite powerful in my opinion. Moving on. Yasen, another anonymous question for you. When will we get the Nexo Pro app?
So the Nexo Pro mobile apps, both for iOS and Android, is an item which is very high in the priority list, and that's obviously because our observation from the Nexo app shows that the usage of the mobile app is growing like rapidly month over month. So more and more customers are using the native app more and more. So we're definitely going to be focusing in the next couple of months to push the mobile app to the market and to start a private beta. But let me give you a little bit about how we envision the Nexo Pro mobile app to work and what specific needs and problems to solve. So for the mobile app, we were also going to be providing all the trading professional functionalities, just to put advanced trades like OCO trades or take profit or stop loss. But at the same time, we will definitely want to tailor the experience for the customer to be able to execute trades very, very quickly when there's a severe volatility on the market, and so that those customers don't miss opportunities on the crypto market. And we know how volatility crypto markets can be. So definitely the ability for our customers to quickly swap, but at the same time set up more advanced trades and orders would be pretty much the main focus for the Nexo Pro app. And again, we're looking forward to start private beta in the next few months for the Nexo Pro iOS and Android apps.
Great. All right. That was it. I am genuinely surprised at how quick we were, and that speaks volumes about the improvement we're making as speakers, because, you know, as Mark Twain once said, I'm writing you a long letter because I don't have the time to write you a short one. But I hope you guys found this informative. Quite frankly, you know, sometimes when you hear a thing like Nexo Pro, okay, well, a lot of Pro features and capabilities are around there in the space, and a lot of companies have pushed something similar, and might not get you that excited before you go and do the deep dive in understanding how this impacts, you know, the infrastructure, the fundamentals of the company, its valuation, and the manifestation of that valuation, which is the Nexo token, and how much to your benefit the launch of this great product will be in terms of bringing down cost, you know, just trading costs, but then also the acquisition of your crypto, about the aggregation of liquidity that we talked about, the depth for those bigger ones amongst you without tipping off the market, what you are trying to do, or, you know, absorbing too much liquidity via the various order types that we discussed. And I hope this has been informative for you, in just like a glimpse, you know, how it is a little bit in the kitchen of Nexo. I want to thank Yasen for sharing those insights with me. You know, I learned also a thing or two about that. Unfortunately, I can't get involved into the technical aspects. A, I'm not that savvy, and B, I don't have the time for it. So these are very educational for me as well. And, you know, as always, stick around. There are good reasons to be with Nexo, apart from just, you know, the general perception that it's good to be with the winners. Thank you so much.
Thank you.